This year we went to Nicaragua. That is how you spell it. Not that many people ask. This is our senior mission trip for this year. And go ahead and go to the next.
Is my mic?
Next slide.
I was just going to speak. Go back. There we go. I was just going to speak for a moment about the place that we stayed, and then I'll let the seniors tell you about the things that we did. We stayed at a place that we called the Farm. This was owned by a couple, Jen and Scott Esposito, who about 12 years ago were with their family here. They decided to sell everything and move down to Nicaragua so that they could be missionaries there. They have built this beautiful farm where they have trees, kind of like you might think of an orchard. They grow fruit trees, and they can sell the things that they get, the crops that they get from that. So on this farm, they have built a dormitory. If you see the picture at the bottom middle, that's the dormitory there where we stay. It has lots of bunk beds and things in it, nice bathrooms. It's a really good place to stay. And then the picture on the right, you can see, kind of looks like a big open pavilion. That's where we would eat. So it's very hot there. And most of the stuff that you do is outside. The people there just stay outside because of how hot it is all the time. So every day when we would eat, we would just sit outside at tables. They would cook food for us, and we would all just gather there. So it was kind of cool. It was a very beautiful area. You could see the mountains all around, and you can see in the bottom middle picture how there's kind of mountains behind everything. That's what it kind of looked like there. And I did not take that picture of flowers at the farm, but there were lots of beautiful plants at the farm, and there were lots of beautiful plants everywhere in Nicaragua. So I just wanted to include that so you could see how beautiful some of the colors and things were that we saw there.
All right. Rancho Santana was a private island that we went to on the second day after us traveling. And as you see the picture in the middle, that's the church that we went to, where there was a church service. It was about an hour long, I would say, not even. And then after we traveled from where we stayed to the church, it was about like an hour away. We traveled in a van. And then on the 4 pictures on the side, it was kind of like a resort that there was an ocean and then a pool. And in the corner here, that's where we had lunch. The food was amazing. We had burritos, quesadillas, and then for dessert we had churros, which were pretty good. We spent about 4 hours there, I would say, around, the whole day. One of our fellow classmates, almost lost her life, but that's okay. Twice after I told her to be careful, but it's okay. But yeah, that was a pretty fun day. Next slide. Thanks. Oh yeah, me again. Okay. Prayer walking, we did for about 3 days out of the week, where we would go to, we'll split into 3 groups with a guide and a translator. We would go to a village, kind of like a neighborhood, and we would just go to each house and just pray over them. And majority of the people we prayed for were Christians, or they were already somewhat in the church. And some say that they would fall short from going to church, or trauma in their life that caused them to fall out of going. And it was kind of a inspiring thing to go around and pray over people that would suffer from an illness. And it was just good to put the word out to people. Next slide.
So one of my favorite memories from Nicaragua was going to the hospital. It was really inspiring to pray over people and to minister. We met a young girl. She was 12 years old. She had a tumor. Well, she had a mass on the back of her head. Her name was Sarai. We met her on Tuesday, and then the next day she was scheduled for surgery. And when we returned on Thursday, it was just really amazing to see how God was with her throughout the process, and how she was doing well after that. And yeah, witnessing her journey and experiencing God's presence was really inspiring. Yeah, next.
All right, so we also went to the hospital again the next day to see Sarah E. after her surgery because we wanted to see how she had progressed from the surgery. And we also got to go to the ICU. We got to talk with families from the ICU, and it was just really encouraging to pray for the people. And it was also really cool because one of the people, we've been praying with her, and as we were praying with her, the doctor came out and said that I think her mom was better. So that was really cool.
So on Tuesday we went ziplining, and it was a very fun experience. We did many different things. We saw monkeys, and you can see Blake doing one of the poses. But it was just a very fun experience, and it was my first time ever doing it. And you can see the nature and everything, and it was just a great experience. We went prayer walking again, and I feel like we met a lot of great people, and they had very different trials and tribulations in their life. And I feel like we made a big impact just praying over the people. I remember we met one individual, and he was in a very critical state after a car accident. And that moment when we were praying over him, it really left an emotional impact on me because he was very hurt, and you could tell he couldn't even speak or eat, but his mom was just allowing us in our home, and it was just a very great experience. And I believe we made an impact throughout Nicaragua with prayer walking.
Also on Tuesday, we had Boys Youth Group, and during this, we ended up talking to them about the birth of Jesus, and we ended up growing a strong connection with the boys. And we all just went around and told our testimony and what we've been through in life. And they also challenged us to a 3-on-3 on basketball the next day, and that didn't go well for them. And it was just a great experience overall, just getting to grow a relationship with them and just getting to know what they've been through and what they go through on an everyday basis.
So Wednesday we went to the Reef store. Or wait, no.
The days on this thing are all mixed up. So, I don't know what happened. That was actually
Okay,
Monday.
Monday. So there were a lot of people from the village that came, and they went to sell everything that they make by hand. There's this girl here who was paralyzed. She was in a wheelchair, and she was making art for us. Some of us bought it. There were people making bracelets. Oh, she wasn't a girl. She was 19.
She wasn't.
There were bracelets.
She wasn't sure.
There were bracelets and maracas. There was a guy who carved his own maracas by hand. We could say whatever we wanted on it, and he would carve it. There was also food, and yeah.
Okay, so we went to the market, and that was just a really different experience for us because they had that's a picture with all the dresses. There was one part during the tour where we walked past a bunch of meat, fish and stuff like that, and it was just all out, and they had live slaughters, so they were slaughtering the meat with live slaughters, and it was just very different. It was, and then after that, we went to the bell tower, and it was like a church inside. And we got to see the architecture, which was really cool. And then we climbed up this staircase, which I pumped, which I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting that. There was trash everywhere. People live there. People work there. Children work there, and basically, what they do, they go through people's trash. They try to find recyclables, sell them back to the companies. They also try to find valuable items to sell, and that they get about $2 a day. So averaging about $10 a week, and that's what they have to live off of. So after we did a sermon, which we did a kids sermon, and then we also did an adult sermon. Anna and Amaya did the kids, and then Annabella and Shamar did the adults sermon. After that, we fed them and gave them like drinks and stuff like that, and it was just a really cool experience.
So Thursday, we had a youth group for the girls. It was like little kids with Anna and Maya, and then the bigger kids were like teenagers, like 12 to 18 or whatever. They were with me and Lorena. And Anna Maya, I guess. They were really sweet. And it changed their hearts. Yeah, next.
So Thursday was one of our like activities / like 3 days. We went to, they called it the Laguna, and it was a crater carved out of a volcano. So there was a volcano literally like right behind it, and it was fresh water. And we, as you can see, we played on a little platform down here. There were slides we went down. It was actually a lot of fun. We took pictures here. We played around, and we ate. The food was really good. Here, the food was really good. They had steak, chicken, pork. You know, it was really good. So after that, we were all tired, but we went to microchurch. This was at the pastor's house, which is the guy on the left picture. He's the one with the hat on. That's his house. He opens it up every Thursday, I think, for the people of the village to go and have church. And we did a lesson, and we prayed, and we read. And that was also a lot of fun, seeing, you know, people's lives get changed, seeing them be able to listen to the gospel, and being able to pray with them and teach them stuff. So yeah.
Prayer walking again. So it was very fun. We had to ride the back of the truck to get to the village. Yeah, the roads over there were crazy, by the way. They were really fun. Yeah, next.
And then we ended up going back to the dump again, and this time we ended up going to like the top of it, and that's the picture you see on the right. We went to the top, and there was just like a bunch of trash just laying around, and we ended up seeing like an amazing view, and we ended up saying another sermon about like I taught this day on faith, and then Amaya and Anna did the little kids, and it was just a great experience, just having an impact on people's lives.
So on Friday we went to Monkey Island, and basically we got in this boat, and we went to like different little islands, and there was just like monkeys and stuff, and we could feed them. That's Annabella feeding them. And once we got back, Joanna found a cat, and that's what she's holding in that picture. But those are monkeys. Yeah. It was a really fun time. So on Saturday, we went to Central Park, which is downtown Granada. And basically, like, there were like different vendors set up, and we were able to buy some things that we wanted to bring home. And I took this picture because they're having this like, I don't know, festival thing, and everyone was like painting and stuff, so it was cool. And then we went to like, basically Starbucks, and we all got drinks, and it was really good and cheap. And it was very beautiful.
The last day that we were there, we got to go to church, which is at the farm. And this was after we went to like the marketplace. We got to give a sermon. They led worship first in Spanish, like all Spanish songs. And this was all of the churches, like the micro churches that they have in the town, all of them like combined to come at the church and the farm. And me, Shamar, and Mrs. Culver and Mr. Culver all gave a sermon. We talked about prayer. And then after we all talked, like we did like a 5-minute short talk on prayer, combined into one sermon. And then we led worship and we did Waymaker. And it was just a really cool experience to see everyone from the town like come together and join in worship and just hear the gospel. Thank you for listening to our presentation. Wasn't it nice? Yeah.
For their presentation, let's give them a round of applause. So after that, there's an art festival being held. There is an art festival held in room 98 on Monday and Tuesday, okay? Room 98 on Monday and Tuesday. And there's a music concert tonight at 6:30 at Clover Hill Church. So hope we can all go and watch. Yeah? Okay. And there is a praise and drama team audition sign up on Mrs. Chettle's door. So come on, high school, sign up for praise and drama team. Slots are going out. So that's it. Camp 1 and Camp 5.